Hi, I am Enrico Pigliacampo. I am an Italian guy with short hair and a long beard. I work for Subti Access, an Italian accessibility service provider based in Turin. In my speech, I will talk about real-time intralingual subtitling services in film festival. The presentation is based on my personal experience with film festivals. We will see how real-time intralingual subtitling is used or can be used in such complex events like film festivals. They are complex because they are composed of many events inside the frame of the festival. They are shown through many channels and they are international, so there are many languages involved. First thing, let's see what I mean by many events and how real-time intralingual subtitling is related to these events. A film festival is composed of many different events. We will focus on three of them, which are among the most important ones: screenings, press conferences, and ceremonies. Screenings are the most important part of the film festival. There can be an introduction to the movie before the screening and a questions and answers moment after the film ends. The speakers that can take part to these moments are the moderator, the actors and the director or other people who worked for the film, the interpreter if needed, and the audience if they are allowed to ask questions. This moment happen immediately before or after the film, so it is not always possible to change the settings in such a short time. Press conferences are easier to subtitle if we consider the technical part. Once you have set the work environment, you don't have to change it for other events which happen immediately before or after it. The speakers at a press conference are the moderator, the guests, who can be actor, directors, festival organizers, and so on, the journalists who ask questions, and the interpreter if needed. Press conferences usually are shown live on social media. The subtitles should be available for the people at the press conference and people at home watching it. Transcripts of the conferences can be given to journalists who use them to write their articles. And now let's see how ceremonies work. They usually follow a script. There are parts that are not in the script, for example, acceptance speeches by award winners or improvisations by the speakers. In these events, there can be a combination of semi-live subtitling and real-time intralingual subtitling. The scripted parts of the ceremonies have semi-live subtitles, which are prepared before the event, and an operator synchronizes them to the speech live. Real-time intralingual subtitling comes in for the moments which are not in the script. Sometimes, real-time interlingual subtitling can also be used instead of interpreters. The second topic I will talk about is the fact that today a film festival is not only an event for the people who take part in it, but also for people who can follow the festival on other channels. The audience of a film festival is not only composed by the people who take part to the live event, but also of the people who follow it on social media and television. When organizing the real-time intralingual subtitling service, it's important to take into consideration all the channels that the festival uses and make them accessible. If full channels are subtitled and accessible, film festivals could acquire a broader audience, which benefits both the festival and the film industry. The last thing I want to point out is that film festivals are international events. People from all over the world go to film festival. They speak different language, and it is not always possible to use English as a common language. The presence of different languages is something that real-time intralingual subtitlers have to take in consideration. The challenge of providing real-time subtitles for all speakers, regardless of the language they speak, can be faced by real-time subtitles providers in two ways. The first option is to have a real-time intralingual subtitler who follows the interpreter. In some countries, there can be a copyright issue in this case. Interpreters must know that real-time intralingual subtitler will use their interpretation, and they have to give explicit consent. The second option is to use real-time interlingual subtitling. The problem here is that it is not always possible to find real-time subtitlers who know the language you need, so you have to go back to option 1. Another problem is that you may need many real-time subtitlers for the different languages, and the service becomes too expensive. To conclude, film festivals are complex events, but if we make them accessible, we guarantee everyone the right to live the magic of an extraordinary cultural event, even if the structure and organization of such events don't make it easy. The film industry can also benefit from a broader audience. Thank you for your attention. You can get in contact with Subti Access through our website www.subtiaccess.com. Subti Access is also one of the partners of the Live Text Access project. You can have more information about the project through the website ltaproject.eu. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies nor any person acting on their behalf may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, Subti Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.